Alright, welcome ladies and gents to Rift and this video guide for Stormcaller. Now in this guide I'm going to show you the basic AoE and single target rotations for Stormcaller, which is, I believe, one of the coolest mage souls that we have, and it can be pretty awesome if used correctly. Now the AoE rotation is almost second to none, and single target is pretty terrible, but it's doable if you absolutely have to. So I'm going to get right ahead. They've been nice and given us multiple AoE practice dummies to do AoE on in the Tempest Bay, the new capital, which is really nice because the old one didn't really have AoE dummies and it was really hard to practice AoE rotations. So I'm going to get right ahead. I'm going to start. I'm using Tempest Armor and Lightning Blade. Tempest Armor is really cool. It reduces global cooldown of water spells to 1 second, and casting a water spell makes the next AoE ability instant cast. So what I'll do, open with Cloudburst, makes Hailstorm instant cast Hailstorm, cast Lightning Storm, whack the next macro, which puts Pouring Rain, Static Flux and Lightning Field in there just for ease of access. Go into your Static Nova macro, hit that enough times so that your Lightning Field consumes all your Electrify. Go into your Storm Surge macro and do exactly the same thing. There's a little bit of time lag between finishing that and going back to your original Hailstorm, but that's about it. So if you're just watching me, Hailstorm, Lightning Storm, Lightning Field macro till Electrify runs out, Static Nova macro once again until Electrify runs out, Storm Surge macro until Electrify runs out once again. These macros are in my written guide that I'll provide a link to if you're wondering. Go back to Hailstorm again and rinse and repeat. Very simple. As you can see down on my meter, I'm at 30k DPS, if anyone's actually interested in the amount that I'm actually putting out. So this is pretty basic stuff. It's just going through macros, watching your Electrify, making sure you don't hit Lightning Field when you don't have Electrify up, things like that. Yeah, so it's basically, you can go on like this for as long as you like, making sure that you don't really have any downtime in the couple of seconds between finishing your Storm Surge macro and your Hailstorm macro. Now there is one other AoE ability that you might notice that I'm not using, which is Eye of the Storm. I don't believe that Eye of the Storm is actually worth it. I think that keeping Static Flux up as much as you can is more important. And Eye of the Storm is a really bad charge dump. And I don't like charge dumps. So I'm going to wrap it up here in a second because there's not really much more to show. You've seen it enough times. You should pretty much be able to learn it from this pretty simply. Yeah. See, Lightning Arc goes crazy on these dummies. Lightning Arc is only really useful if there's more than sort of 5 enemies, but there normally is when you're doing this sort of stuff. Alright, so I'm going to stop there. You can see my DPS meter finished at about 33k. You can see the breakdown, most of it charge field. Next down, Lightning Storm, Lightning Field, then Hailstorm, Arctic Blast, Lightning Arc, Storm Surge, right down the bottom at Cloudburst, which is 0.14% because I hit it a couple of times to proc Tempest Armor. And you can see Lightning Blade actually did almost 1% of my DPS, so it is sort of worth it because it doesn't cost anything. It's a 0 Harbinger ability and it looks cool. Alright, let's clear out the DPS and go on to single target rotation, which is, it doesn't really work, to be honest. It's not too bad. Tempest Armor makes it actually viable. If before you get Tempest Armor, it's really impossible. It's really shit. So I'm going to go right ahead. Start off with, oh, wrong button, sorry. Using mouse now. Starting off with Electric Charge to put max stacks of Electrify on. Ice Shear, Static Flux on, Icicle on proc. Hit Cloudburst about 6 or 7 times, and then hit Forked Lightning. Try not to do that. That was quite a bad mistake on my part. You shouldn't hit Forked Lightning unless it is instant cast. So Forked Lightning to refresh your Electrify, and then continue on with your Cloud Bursts. And that's it. That is the whole rotation. So it's Forked Lightning, Ice Shear, Icicle, Cloud Burst. You can hit Static Discharge if you want to do some extra DPS for a little bit, and that's about it. So as you can see, we're going to get a little bit of a little bit too high DPS on my meter because Forked Lightning is hitting those other dummies next to me, but not much. Forked Lightning is not a very big percentage of your DPS, so don't worry too much about that. So obviously it would be better if I was not using my mouse to do this, but because it's only single target, it's pretty basic, and it's just going along the line, hitting all your abilities. You don't really have to use Pouring Rain in this situation because of Tempest Armor. You can if you want for quicker global cooldown on Forked Lightning. It's pretty useless though. I would save it for something that is really necessary. And this is fairly mana intensive. I'm about to run out of mana. So I'm going to have to pop Gathering Storm just to retrieve a little bit of mana. Massive waste of time. Don't go into a fight without max mana using Stormcaller. Finishing there, 4.4k DPS it's not atrocious, but I can do 6.5k with Ellie, 7.2 with Pyro, so those are dedicated single target specs, so you can see that doesn't really hold up at all. You only use single target with Stormcaller if you're stuck in a situation where you have to, without being able to change specs. So, thank you for watching. I hope that was informative for everyone. And I'll probably be back at some stage with a Pyro guide, because Pyro is pretty darn complicated at 61 points. Alright, see you then. Goodbye.